Assalamu guys, Irfan back again with another video. And in this video, we will look at how to have Excel make an appointment calendar for us in which you can take a printout and you can fill in your to-do list on it. So let's get started. Okay. First, what we'll do is we'll put some labels here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are the 7 days of the week. So let's put a border on it, and this is going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm also going to center these. All right, now let's put a little bit of color here. Let's make this yellow. This is where we'll actually have the dates show up. So let's put that in green, and let's also put a thicker border around it. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is where you will be putting in all your to-do lists. Okay, there you go. That's week 1. What we'll do is we'll copy and paste it down here. That's week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. All right, now let's go back to the top. Okay, now what we'll do is what we want to do is have the ability to put in a date for which we want the calendar to be created. So let's make use of a couple of not a couple, like four helper columns. Okay, now over here what we'll do is starting date, starting month, start of month. Okay, we have the start of month and start day. That's like Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever the day was on the starting of the month, and end of month and day. All right, so let's just quickly resize them. All right, now I'm just gonna put a border on this and just put a color just so we don't, it's easier to find. Okay, now I'll also format these two as date fields. Okay, there you go. Now supposing this was the 1st of June. Now over here in this column, what you want is to show what day of the week that was. Okay, now whether it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, what the day of the week was, and the way you have it calculate that from, and that's the day of the week on the beginning of the month. Okay, so the way you do that is use the text function. Okay, comma, open quotes, D. What that means is convert this into text as a date, as a day, and use 3 letters for the day. So instead of doing SUNDAY for Sunday, it's just SUN for Sunday, MON for Monday, TUE for Tuesday. Okay, there you go. So now you can see 1st of June was a Saturday. All right, and let's just quickly check. 1st of June was actually a Saturday. Okay, now what we also want to do is want to figure out what is the last day, last date of this month, whether it's the 30th of the month or the 31st of the month, or in case of February, it's the 28th of the month. So the way you do that is you take this date and you add, say, 5 to it. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're bumping it into the next week. Now what you're doing is you're subtracting the day format. Okay. Now what that does is you take this date, you add 35, so you're going into the next month. So whatever you get, you subtract the date and you end up with the last date of the previous month. There you go. So that's June 30th. If this was February, this should be 28th of February. Let's just, oops, sorry. Let's just quickly check. Okay. So 1st of February, last day is the 28th of February. And this will also keep in account leap years. Okay. If it's March, it should be the 31st. If it's July, it should be 31st. And also August should be 31st. Okay, so let's go back to June and we'll just copy and paste this formula over here. So that would be the day, the last day of the month. Okay, now in this row here, this green row, what we'll do is we'll put the date. Okay, now it just so happens the first day of the month for the month of June is a Saturday. So these cells would be blank and only Saturday would show 1, and then this would say 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Now on a different day, let's see if it's July, the first day is Monday. So this will show as 1, 2, 3, and only Sunday would be blank. Okay, so let's go back. Now let's see how we're going to do that. The way you do that is you see what the first of the month is. It was a Saturday, so you check if this is the same as the first of the month. If it is, put a 1. If it's not, put a blank. Okay, so if B1 is equal to the first day of the month, I'm just going to hit F4 to put dollar signs to lock it in place. Just a habit of mine. If it is, then put a 1. Otherwise, just put a blank. I mean, don't put anything. Just leave it blank. Okay. So Sunday is going to be a blank because the first day is a Saturday. Now, for the second day, the formula is going to be slightly different. What you want to do is you want to check if this is a blank. Okay, if it's blank, you treat it differently. If it's not blank, then you treat it differently. So say for example, if it's not blank, that means Sunday was the first day, so you want to make this the second day. So if this just shows 1 here, this should be 2. So if B2 is not blank, then just increment B2. Okay, but if B2 was if this cell here was a blank, what do you do then? Then what you do is you would check this guy here, okay, against this guy. Is same thing what you did over here. If C1 is equal to A2, just lock that into place. If it is, then put a 1, otherwise put a blank. Oops, I'm sorry. There needs to be a double close bracket because we have opened one here and we have opened one here, and I had only closed one, so there needed 2 closing brackets. So that's for Monday. Now what I'll do is I'll just copy this formula and paste it down here. And I'll do a paste as formula only because I don't want to change the formatting, because this cell has a border outside, an outside border. So I'll just choose a paste as formula, and there you have it. Saturday is showing up as a 1. Okay. Now next week, the second week, this is going to be different from the first week. Now, how is it going to be different? Because the first of every month is going to last somewhere along these cells here. So when you come to the second week, the month has already started. Okay, So therefore, the formulas are going to be slightly different. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is, if basically what you're going to do is take this, increment that by 1. So if it's 1, make it 2. If it's check that as being less than or equal to the end of the month. And we're going to lock that. Okay. If it is, if it's less than or equal to the end of the month, what you do is you take this and you increment by 1. The reason why we're checking with the increment, because we want to account for the last day of the month. Okay, you'll understand a bit, because if I was just checking for this, and then if this is not, if it's less than or equal to, and then I would not be able to increment by 1, because then it would be, if 30 would become 31, or if it's 31 days would become 32. So that's why I'm already checking that if it's, I increment it by 1 and then check if it's less than or equal to this. If it is, then I can go ahead and increment it by 1. Okay, thereby not falling trap of that going past the end of the month. And if that's not it, then just put a blank. Okay, so now you see, because this was the 1, this became a 2. All right, now let's go here. Now this formula is going to be slightly different from this, because this was grabbing its value from the last end of the last week, as opposed to this grabbing its value from the previous day of the same week. So what we'll do is, if this, the first day of the week is not a blank, and then we check if B15 plus 1 is less than or equal to day and 2, lock that. Then what we'll do is we would essentially increment B15 by 1. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll put a blank and we close parenthesis. And now what we have done is we have closed this if, but we've still got this if here. So if it's not blank, then do this, and if it is blank, then just go ahead and put another blank. Who cares? All right. Now I will copy and paste this formula all the way down here, and I'll use a paste formula. And you see how this was 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now what I can do is I can copy this whole row down here, and this time I can just do a copy paste, because this I'm copying the whole row, so the format is going to stay the same. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15, and this should be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then 29. Yes, we need one more week. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that. There you go. Okay, so 30, and then after 30 they are all going to be blank, because that's the end of the month. June ends in 30th. Okay, now if I were to change this to, say, for example, July, you'll see how that changes everything. Monday is the first day, Saturday is the 6th, and Sunday is 7th, and follows through. And here what has happened is 30th, 31st is here, got 3 blanks, and then you got errors. Okay, so let's take care of those errors also. Now if you notice here, this error is coming because what is it doing? It's taking this and adding 1. So it's taking a blank and adding one. So that's why it's getting confused. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put an if error statement here. If it's an error, if it's not an error, do this. If it's an error, just put blank. Okay. Now, if it's, say, for example, August, now we have a problem. If you see how this is now 32 when it should have stopped over there. Okay, what has happened? Let's see. It's taking this value, which is H54. You increment that by 1, which is 32. If that is less than equal to M2, which what is M2? This guy here. Okay. So now we see that we have a problem. Okay. So what do? We go back and change the formula a bit. Okay. See this? What we'll do is we will put an if function here. What that does is, instead of the date, is comparing it to the day, that's the 31st. And now if I copy and paste it here and paste it here, and I'm going to paste it over here, and now this 32 should go away. See? Now let's do some further formatting. Okay, I'm going to reduce the width of this guy here, take out the colors, it's a little different. I'll also go to view and take away the grid lines. I'll merge these so they doesn't show. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll reduce the width of this column here, and I'll also reduce the width of this column here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just insert another column here. All right, I'll tell you why. And I'll insert a blank row up the top. And now what I'll do is, if you want to actually print this out, I will highlight this, go into page layout, set up as set print area. Okay, one page height and one page width. Okay, and if we do a print preview, it shows up like this. Now what we'll do is we will increase the width of these columns, make it pretty wide. Okay, now let's see how that looks. There you go, looks much better. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the zoom so I can now tell you what further I'm going to do. Okay, now Saturdays and Sundays usually tend to be weekends. So what I'll do is I'll highlight this portion here and this portion here, and I'll color it in blue. Okay, and I will just do I can do a format printer and copy this for format down, or I can manually highlight this and manually color it. But I'm going to do some, just going to be lazy, and I'm just going to copy this down so the blue color comes with it. Probably should have done it before I copied everything down. Save an extra step. Anyway, there you go. Okay, now the second thing that we're going to do is, what we want to do is these dates here, they should be a different color. Why? Because that's not the part of the month that we are looking at. It's not part of August, or in the case of June, sorry, let me just fix that. In the case of June, Saturday is the first day of the week, of the month, sorry. These 6 days here, they are not part of June. They are actually the last days of May, okay? So these need to be a different color. Now, how would you do that? What we'll do is we'll use conditional formatting. And we'll highlight this portion here, go to conditional formatting, new rule, use formula to determine which cells to format. And what we'll do is we'll see if this part here is a blank, means it's not part of the month, then give it a different color. So if this is blank, then make it pink. Okay, I want to copy and paste this. Well, let's not do that, because otherwise I'll have to get rid of the blue color. And let's just click on OK. There you go. And I'm going to follow this and do the same thing here. And this time I'm going to check if this is blank. And I'm just going to put, there you go. And I'm not, what I will do is, I'll just come directly here. We just assume I follow this step here. Or let me just pause the video here, and let's just do one more, and then I'll pause the video and come all the way here, and then I'll show you how it's done over here. New rule, use a formula to determine which cells to format. I'm going to check the cell just above that. If it's blank, if it is, make it pink. Click on OK, click on OK. All right. So now I'm going to just pause the video for a minute. I'll come back and I'll have all this highlighted using conditional formatting, and then we'll do this Saturday. Okay. So I've got it done till Friday. Now, if I do it on Saturday also, it should not change color. Okay, it should just be the blue color. Reason being that it's blue because it's a weekend, but it's not pink because it is part of the current month. Okay, it's not part of the previous month or the next month. It is part of the current month, so it should not be pink. So if we go to conditional formatting and just follow the same process that we have been following thus far, it should not change color. Okay, there you go. See how it did not change color? That's because that was part of the current month that we are looking at. Now, if it's not June that we're looking at, if you're looking at July, you'll see this colors should change. Okay, now see, this is already part of the of July, the current month that we are looking at, and this is not a weekend, so it's all white. Saturday is a weekend, so it's going to stay blue. This Sunday is not part of July, therefore it is not pink. Now, if we can follow the same process down here, and that's how we would do that. Okay. Let's see what's wrong here. Let's see if H55 plus 1 is less than equal to day of N3, then H55, otherwise blank. Okay, So now we have these errors showing. Let's get that taken care of also. H55 plus 1, which is this guy here. If this is less than or equal to the day, which is N3, which is this guy here. Okay. Then H5, otherwise this. What we'll do is we'll just put a if error on, just encapsulate it in if error. What that does is, if this does not translate into an error, then do this, then show whatever comes out of this function. Otherwise, put a blank. If it's values as an error, put a blank. Okay, and that gets rid of the value variables. Okay, now if we were to, instead of July, if we make it August, let's see what happens. See how this ping goes forward, and everything else is white, and Saturday is the last day. Okay, let's just check this. It's saying a sheet is showing us as Thursday being the 1st of August. Okay, so let's see if Thursday is actually 1st of August. Thursday, 1st of August is a Thursday. Okay, and the last day of the month is a Saturday. Okay, so last day of the month is a Saturday. All right, so now what you do is, see these these cells that you have. What you can do is make a color printout, and then you can fill in what your activities are, what your schedules are for that particular day. And each month you can just change the month here and have it print out a calendar for you. Now you can get really fancy, and what you can also do is take, okay, if you put today, what that does is it puts in 10th of June, but we need to bring it back to the 1st of June. Okay, so you take minus day today. What that does is it takes you to the last day of the previous month, kind of like what we did here. So what you do is you just add one to it. So now what will happen is, you can just open this file every month. It will automatically show you the calendar for the current month. You don't even need to change the date over here. Okay, so that was a quick way to do a schedule calendar for which you can then print out. If you do print it out, it will look exactly like this. Maybe if you go to page layout and change the orientation to landscape, it might actually look a little bit better. Okay, we can now increase the width of these cells here. Instead of 30 width, we can make it maybe 50. Okay, and let's see how that looks. There you go, looks much better, and it will make it easier to write long desks. So that's folks, this is how you would do a calendar in Excel. If you like this video, please kindly give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you.